As the immigration crackdown intensifies, the Durham City Council unanimously passed a resolution to make the city a Fourth Amendment workplace. Durham City Council voted unanimously to make the North Carolina city a Fourth Amendment workplace, a move aimed at increasing protections for city employees against ICE raids and arrests while on duty. The Fourth Amendment, which guards citizens against arbitrary searches and seizures, now guides city policy and requires staff to uphold these protections and report any obstacles to effective training. Council members emphasize that maintaining the trust of Durham residents, particularly immigrant communities, is essential to the city's ability to operate safely and effectively. The resolution cites the fear of unconstitutional seizures as a reason many immigrants in Durham have avoided fully engaging in public life, including pursuing employment or education opportunities. This policy comes just weeks after 4 ICE agents appeared at the Durham County Courthouse, triggering alarm among residents and council members, even though no arrests were made. Introduced by Council Member Javier Caballero and supported by the immigrant advocacy group Siembra NC, the resolution marks Durham as the second city in North Carolina, after Carrboro, to adopt a Fourth Amendment workplace designation. Speakers at the council meeting, including immigrants and their families, shared their anxieties about daily life and the importance of safeguarding city employees and residents from federal enforcement overreach. The resolution follows past incidents, including federal arrests of Durham residents identified as illegal aliens, which have heightened concerns about family safety and the proper exercise of constitutional protections. Despite a designation labeling Durham a sanctuary county earlier this year, city officials rejected the label, stating it had no legal or factual basis, while the General Assembly has passed legislation requiring sheriffs to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. Mayor pro tempore Mark Anthony Middleton affirmed that the Durham Police Department would never collaborate with ICE, and the city now seeks to train all staff to fully implement the protections promised under the Fourth Amendment Workplace Resolution.
It's been about 7 months now since President Trump and his administration have been working to make America safe again. As you know, the Department of Homeland Security is tasked with making sure that we have a secure border, which we have overwhelmingly been successful with by President Trump's direction, at making sure we're enforcing our laws in this country, that the rule of law matters, and that it applies equally to everybody. We have had for 3 months in a row 0 illegal aliens entering the United States, which is the first time in this nation's history that we've seen that kind of security at our nation's border. Also, we've been working on getting dangerous criminal illegal aliens out of our country. Murderers, rapists, drug traffickers, human traffickers, going out, arresting them, and removing them from our communities so that our families can be safe again at night. Our top priorities have been these 2 items: securing our borders and arresting dangerous criminals and removing them from our cities and our towns and our states across the country from coast to coast. Since President Trump has taken office, we have arrested hundreds of thousands of these illegal criminals. I'm here today because the elected leaders in this state of Illinois are ignoring the law. In fact, they're being obstructionists when it comes to getting dangerous criminals off of their streets. They are deciding that dangerous criminals that are murderers, rapists, money launderers, have committed assault, that are trafficking children, are more important than the families that live in the communities here. That includes Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, and others who have worked so hard to protect these dangerous criminals. They'd rather be a sanctuary state and continue to put those individuals above American citizens who built this country, who've raised their families here for generations, and just want to be able to walk down the street safely at night and put their kids to bed and live a peaceful life. Today I'm highlighting 4 different examples of individuals that we've recently arrested here out of this office with the good work of ICE and our HSI officers that we've taken off the streets without the help of the governor or the mayor. Our federal officers have had to do this alone without their support, and these dangerous individuals are now no longer victimizing people because of the good work that we do. Hector Bonaparte is a 42-year-old illegal Mexican alien who had previously been convicted of predatory sexual criminal assault against a victim under the age of 13. We have Jarvin Flores Santos, who's a 40-year-old Honduras individual who was arrested back in 2020 the first time for aggravated criminal sexual abuse and attempted criminal sexual abuse of a minor under the age of 13 again. And Waldemar Jabik, a Polish citizen who had been convicted in 2014 for attempted murder and then also aggravated domestic battery. He was convicted of these after he stabbed his own wife and his 19-year-old daughter. It was not the first time that police had been called to his house for domestic disturbance, but he was never held accountable until recently by these federal officers. Don Gay Silas, a 33-year-old illegal alien from Micronesia, has had 3 DUI convictions, and as well as convictions of criminal mischief, of wanton endangerment, and driving without a license. These individuals would still be out on our streets today, committing crimes and attacking people and harming them and hurting our children if Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson had their way, because their choice has been routinely over and over and over again to release these criminals back on the streets. The debate over so-called sanctuary policy has consequences for our law enforcement officers, but also for the families that live here and the businesses that are just trying to provide for their community. Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson are answering that question every single day of who should be our priority, who should be our responsibility, and over again, they're choosing criminals. In just the last 7 months, ICE has issued over 1,664 detainers in Chicago alone. 1,664 detainers we have lodged against violent criminals, and that is a 106% increase over what was issued during the Biden administration. Unfortunately, Chicago and its leadership has only honored 8% of those. That means every other person, when they're released from paying for the consequences of their crimes, back onto our streets without any notification to individuals or to the families that have been victimized by them. By getting those 8% at least off of the street, the brave men and women of ICE are saving American lives. Yesterday we announced that now our ICE officers are facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And you read about the stories and hear what's happening from coast to coast every day in our national media and in our press. But it's in large part due to the pro-sanctuary state and cities policies and the language of elected bureaucrats and politicians that are reckless with their lives and endangering their families. Every public official should talk about and work to protect people, to keep them safe and American people's lives safe.